Chapter 2. A pale moon was rising above the inky ridges to their east, just in time, when Kid Curry led them all across an open stretch of loose scree. None of their mounts left hoofprints in the fist-sized lumps of frost-shattered granite. Their mounts had enough trouble trying not to slide on down the mountain. Stringer rode with a gentle hand on his own mount's reins. He knew all he could do if the brute lost its footing was to try and fall on the high side and hope for the best. The scree they were dislodging with every hoof step made ominous noises as it rattled down, and down some more into the mysterious darkness below. A million or so years later, they'd made it to the far side, which would have seemed a lot nicer if the far side of the loose scree hadn't consisted of bare bedrock sloping almost 30 degrees to an even steeper drop-off. Kid Curry didn't feel as sure of the route he'd chosen as he acted. He waited until they were all on firmer ground in the trees to the north before he let out his breath with a wheeze and declared, "I'd like to see the law cross that stretch of asshole pucker in broad day." Another owl hoot laughed and said, "We ain't left a hoof mark for the last couple of miles, and for that they'll surely thank you, kid. You sure are a fool for ridge running, and nobody but a fool like me would consider riding after you and the other mountain goats." Kid Curry announced he was slicker than any mountain goat and led them on. Stringer saw no indication they were following even a game trail as they wound through brooding fir and moonlit outcrops of rounded granite. He'd heard there was an unmapped outlaw trail running all the way down to Mexico between the more or less north-south ranges west of the divide, but he didn't see how this could be it. He could only hope Kid Curry wasn't lost. He knew he was, and unless someone was starting to unscrew the stars up yonder, they were due for some rain before moonset. He didn't say so. Some of the others seemed uncertain of his status, to judge from occasional growls he heard, and he was now riding in the middle of the single-file column as they snaked on along the contour line of the steep east-west slope, with the only man who'd talk nice to him well out front. The stars were gone, and the moon was shining brightly dim by the time they heard roaring rapids ahead and reined in by a whitewater stream. Kid Curry shot a thoughtful glance up at the sky and announced, "It's already raining up in the rabbit ear ranges. Come morning, they'll play hell finding hoof mark 1 in these parts. But we'd best play fox and hounds with the bastard whilst we have the chance. We'll wade down a ways afore we cross over." "Don't you mean up, kid?" one of his followers protested. "I agreed to rob trains with you, not to commit suicide.